may be seated. Like I said, it's going to be a short message so we can worship some more. But last week we talked about the importance of remembering what God has done for us. When we take time to reflect on his faithfulness, it guards our hearts against apathy. It keeps us from taking his grace, who he is, what he's done for us for granted. But you know, there's another side to this. So on Thursday, Sarah and I had the privilege of going to a wedding, and we're sitting outside, and right before the wedding's supposed to start, I'm just sitting there, and we just celebrated our anniversary on Tuesday, and I'm sitting next to my wife, and I'm just kind of holding her hand, and I'm looking at her, and I'm remembering and reminiscing about our wedding day. I'm thinking back to, we did pictures beforehand, and so they wanted to get my first reaction to me seeing her in her dress. So the photographer had me stand facing away from her, and then I turned around, and I sat there, and I'm remembering all of this on Thursday and thinking of how beautiful my wife was, how beautiful she looked, and of course now I have to say that she's even more beautiful today than she was then, because otherwise I get in trouble, But I just got nostalgic. I just got how just wonderful, and thinking back on 25 years and all we've been through and all we've done, and I was just so overflowing with love and affection to my wife as I sat there and as I remembered and as I focused on what our marriage means. And honestly, she probably could have asked me to build her anything or paint anything in the house in that moment, and I would have agreed to it. And she should have gotten it on video so she had proof, so when I denied it later. But there was that moment where I was just looking at her, and I was just like, wow. And it focused me kind of the exclusion of all else that was going on and to everything else that was happening around me. And, as we're waiting for this wedding to start, and at one point I kind of turned around and went, oh, wow, other people have showed up, And it was this great moment of just being with her. And I remember the times that I've spent with God and the times where I've gotten so much from him and I've experienced his presence, and I've had that moment of focus to the exclusion of all else, to the exclusion of everything else going on around me. Mark chapter 11, verse 1 says, "Now when they drew near to Jerusalem, to Bethphage and Bethany, and at the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent two of his disciples and said to them, 'Go into the village in front of you, and immediately as you enter it, you will find a colt tied on which no one has ever sat. Untie it and bring it. If anyone says to you, "Why are you doing this?" say, "The Lord has need of it, and will send it back here immediately." And they went away and found a colt tied at the door outside the street, and they untied it. And some of those standing there said to them, "What are you doing untying the colt?" And they told them what Jesus said, and they let them go. And they brought the colt to Jesus. They threw their cloaks on it, and he sat on it. And many spread their cloaks on the road, and others spread leafy branches that they had cut from the fields. And those who went before and those who followed were shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our father David. Hosanna in the highest." Jesus actually, sitting on that colt, was prophesied about. These people are rejoicing. These people are praising, are singing out. And this is actually Jesus doing this in Zechariah 9:9. It says, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, your king is coming to you. Righteous and having salvation is he. Humble and mounted on a donkey, on a colt, on the foal of a donkey." He was announcing to the world the king had come, and there's some debate if the people really even understood what they were doing. There's some debate that the people who were putting the palm branches and shouting for Jesus really fully grasped what it is that they were doing, because what was it? To our knowledge, a week later, they had turned on him. But we know who he is. We know exactly what it is that they're proclaiming. We know exactly what it is that they're saying. And there's something powerful that happens when we remember what Jesus has done, because remembrance should lead to rejoicing. When you remember the things that God has done for you. There's something powerful that happens when we remember, when we sacrifice on what Jesus has done. One commentator said that the implications of Jesus' messiahship today are profound. The implications of who Jesus is are profound for us. If I put my faith in Jesus, but treat it like a self-help program, what does that do for me? You see, Jesus' kingship reminds us that our lives are not our own, but belong completely to the one who rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us into the kingdom of the Son. As mere servants in the kingdom of the Son, we live to serve him. You see, praise realigns our hearts. It realigns our hearts when we stop and think about what Jesus has done for us. In our small group on Wednesday night, and if you're not a part of a small group, I highly recommend it. But in our small group on Wednesday night, Jeff brought up the fact that, his prayer times are much more effective or feel more effective when he's praised first, when he's worshiped first. And I can agree that there are times when I feel like I'm not getting through in my prayers and I'm having this stuck time with God, and I'll begin to just sing and I'll begin to praise. Because praise realigns our hearts. Jesus, when asked how to pray, gave his disciples this instructions in Matthew 6:9. Pray then like this: Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It starts out by acknowledging who God is. He is holy. He is holy. He is worthy. He is above all. He is worthy of honor. And then it comes to the heart, to the next part, and it says, your kingdom come, your will be done. As I sat there next to my wife on Thursday looking at her, I was thinking about her needs, her wants, her desires. It wasn't about me. When we praise, when we put ourselves in that place with God, it becomes about what he wants. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We want it to be now. Then it goes on to ask for things from God, but it starts with its focus solely and completely on God. On who he is. Psalm 37:4 says, delight yourselves in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday. When we delight ourselves in the Lord. When we delight ourselves in the Lord, he will give us the desires of our heart. You see, it's not a formula. It's not complete A, B, C, and D, and then you're going to get the piñata at the end or the cake in the sky. No, it's transformational. As you begin to delight yourself more and more in God, as you begin to express yourself, as you begin to worship, as you begin to turn your focus completely on him and who he is, remembering what he's done for you, remembering all that he is to you. I sat there next to my wife and I began to remember all that she is to me, all that she's done for me. And there are arguments, there are frustrations, there are angst still. But if you take the time to begin to remember what Jesus means to you, when you feel like he's far away, when you take the time to praise him, to worship, to delight in him, it's transformational. His will becomes our will. His glory is our aim. So this morning, we're doing things, it's been a while since we've done this. We've done this once or twice before. But we're just going to spend some more time in worship. Why? Because we need to make sure that he is our aim, that our delight is in him, that our focus is on him. And as we begin to rejoice and to praise and to sing about him, it will help transform us. It will help change us. So I invite you guys to worship with us. The front is open. If you want to pray, if you want to stand, if you want to move around, please feel free to do so. Because guess what? It's not about anybody in this room. It's about him. It is all about him. Rejoice, church, because your Messiah has come.